A lot of founders I see suffer from maker syndrome. This is where they believe that if they build a great product, then customers will just magically appear, come out of the woodwork, sign up for their product, and pay them a lot of money. And I think this sometimes is true, and that's where this all comes from. Is there have been a couple of instances in the history of the internet where, because a great product exists, that a company is built. But I think it's the vast minority, and betting on this being the way you build your company is setting yourself up to be disappointed. Especially for technical founders, I think one way around maker syndrome is really embracing time for sales and marketing efforts. We're all busy. We have a bunch of things pulling us in different directions, but being really intentional and practical about your calendar and dedicating 2 mornings a week to sales and marketing efforts will all but ensure that you have this good balance of operations, sales, marketing, success built into your business, in addition to the great product that I know we want to make. Most brands suffer from some degree of distribution problem, right? I think every company could benefit from more and better distribution. And especially if you're just starting out, probably distribution is the biggest single problem that you have. Most of us are able to build a pretty good product between no code and low code and things like Ruby on Rails and Laravel, Tailwind. Building a pretty good product is relatively easy these days, but getting good distribution is challenging. And I think that most companies suffer from this just because it's not prioritized within the business. The easiest way to figure that out is, where are you spending your time and where are you spending your money as a founder, right? Are you building a team of 10 developers and 1 marketing person? That's not very balanced. Conversely, as a founder, how are you spending your time? Are you recording 5 YouTube videos a week? Or are you spending a bunch of time doing product and development and refactoring that one feature so your code is just picture perfect? Like, the chance of that moving the needle is pretty low. Rather than just focusing on building a great product, what you really need to do is build an incredible distribution system in your business. And that is sales and marketing and go-to-market. I think we all, and myself included, avoid this a lot of times because it's really, really hard, right? It is the defining characteristic of every great business is enormous distribution and a great operation system in sales and marketing. And the fact is, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of really deep mental cycles for you as a founder to come up with this stuff from scratch. But I think the good news is you don't have to come up with it from scratch. There's a lot of best practices that we talk about here on the channel where you can borrow some of the frameworks and best practices that I talk about and some other founders talk about to implement into your business, adapt slightly to your specific use case and your customers and your industry. But don't think you have to reinvent the wheel and start from scratch here, but rather take what's already working for other folks and implement it into your business. Tip number 1 I use for overcoming maker syndrome, and because I'm not a technical founder, but I still suffer from this, is using a Pomodoro timer on my laptop. It's set up for a 30-minute cycle. 25 minutes of that for me is hardcore sales and marketing. I put the headphones on, I dive in, and I hammer out the single most important thing in my business to improve distribution, sales, and marketing. If I can do that a couple of times a week even, it's a huge win. Tip number 2 is understand this balance of maker time and manager time. Especially as you get a bigger team, you're going to be pulled in a bunch of different directions by every team and every person needing something from you. The reality is, as a founder, you are the most important person in the company. And so guarding that maker time so you can be creative and strategic and do the things that only you can do to move the needle in your business is hugely important, and probably the single most important thing you should guard in your time and mental energy as a founder. Tip number 3 is think about seasons in your business. Every company has times where product is more important or sales and marketing are more important, and just be really intentional about that. Sometimes we kind of hold back on sales and marketing because the product is just not ready for us to make this big push. But just know the time is going to come. You're going to release that big feature. You're going to have this new integration. You're going to have this partnership opportunity. And that's the time where you need to be ready from an emotional and a time perspective to really go all out when the time is right. And so I definitely am intentional about kind of boxing my time to say, right now is marketing time and we're just going all in on this. And then I know some other times just aren't, and that's okay too. But more than anything, it's around mindset. You as a founder have to deeply embrace and grok that to make a great company is not just to make a great product, but is to overcome maker syndrome and build a system where you can repeatably acquire customers profitably in a scalable way. And if you do that, you're going to have an amazing business on your hand. If you don't, you're going to have a great product without a lot of customers, and that's not what any of us want. If you want to continue building a great business, subscribe to the channel to get tips and strategies and insights from me on how you can continue leveling up as a founder.